Roxo Media House.
Welcome into Dissecting the Frogs. Maggie, Hale here with Dave Beaudin. He's got a lot of stuff for us today. TCU getting that win over Oklahoma State, staying 6-0. What a weekend it was.
Yeah, the environment was incredible. Another storming the field, and this one double overtime. I mean, the momentum of the program is just at to me an all-time high right now.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
they can't do anything wrong, and just to have another sold-out crowd running on the field, it was just electric this past weekend.
Absolutely, and even going up to that game, that pregame video, did you see that on the football Instagram? I mean, come on, with the new, not the new, but my favorite uniforms that they rarely wear. Unfortunately, you're going to have to talk to Sonny about that one. But we saw a lot of momentum just from the team, but also in that fourth quarter.
Yes, but yeah, for sure. I mean, they turned it out too. It wasn't like it was a couple plays that just turned it around. I mean, they really had to earn that one. That 94-yard drive to ground the field and score there at the end of the fourth quarter. Just taking control of the game, and it was just impressive from the opening kick to the finish, and just how they finished the job.
Absolutely. And you were on the sidelines for this game. What were you seeing differently?
Well, I just think the effort is extremely physical. That's a power team. I mean, this offense gets tagged with the air raid thing, right? Because I think those coaches have kind of grown up under that system. But really, we saw a lot of power, hard-nosed football, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, it just was a lot of fun. I mean, this one's going to be great to jump into.
I can't wait to dive in. And we talked about that post-game fourth quarter and overtime momentum, and that's what we got to stick with today. All four plays coming from that fourth quarter, kind of the most important for TCU as we break down this win. So stick with us.
The surge in his head, former head coach David Beaudin brings his football expertise to Frog fans everywhere in Dissecting the Frogs.
PlayActionPools.com. The newest sports pool hosting platform, Play Action Pools is your spot for all of your football contest needs. Whether it's a pick'em or survivor pool, Play Action has you covered against or without the spread. Be sure to check out PlayActionPools.com and use code FROGS today for 15% off your league.
3rd and 6. Snap back, Sanders going to keep it. Frogs read it perfectly, get him down at the 11.
Welcome back into Dissecting the Frogs, presented to you by PlayActionPools.com. It's got all your office needs. If you want to make your own pool, you can go ahead and use code FROGS today for 15% off. Fun little contest, and you can also compete against me and Coach and a couple of other guys here in the office like Brian and even Melissa. She's ready to compete, and just saying, I mean, I am up there in the top 5 right now, so I'm doing pretty well if you want to try and take me down. But as we get into this game, we want to stay in the fourth quarter, like I mentioned. And in this fourth quarter, we're talking about one of 3 of Oklahoma's 3-and-outs that they had offensively. And TCU really stepped it up for them. Dave, go ahead and draw this one out for us.
This was critical. Another 3-and-out, and this one here, you could really feel the tide start to shift in the Frogs' favor because of this play. So on 3rd down, they send him in motion. It's actually an unbalanced formation from Oklahoma State. It doesn't present it that way. Initially, it just looks like a 3-by-1. So 3 receivers over here, 1 receiver on the backside. However, these 2 guys are on the line of scrimmage. Okay, so he's covered up. He technically can't go up for a pass. They sent this cowboy back out to the flat, and they brought this receiver in motion. They faked the jet sweep. They faked here to the running back as well. And then Spencer Sanders was just going to run this wide zone. They had enough to block it, just didn't do it very well. And so TCU was in their base 3-3 stack, as you can see here. They spun down a safety to cover man. They went to man free, so man underneath with this free safety deep. And they had enough to block it. They were going to block this way here was their responsibilities, like this, and leave this one as the read. But honestly, Jamoy Hodge here, as you're going to see on film, he didn't worry about all this stuff in the backfield, everything they had going on. He just read his keys. He saw the line of scrimmage going this way. He took it right now and made the play. There was discipline on the back end. I mean, it was a heck of a job, and this really fired up the crowd. You saw him after this play. The team was fired up. It inspired the offense, and the crowd was behind it, and this is where things got rolling.
All right, we have drawn it out. We have talked about it, and now it is time to see it. All right, Coach, there is a ton going on in the backfield right here. What is TCU keyed in on?
Yes, that's exactly right. There's a lot of eye candy in the backfield, but the Frogs don't take it. They have great eye discipline and make sure that they're reading their keys. And you can see Jamoy Hodge in the middle here. He's gonna go ahead and make this play because he's reading his keys, right? And so to start off, Oklahoma State goes in motion, as we talked about on the board. He'll go in motion here, and you'll see they're going to eliminate a defender by the fact that the corner's playing man, so he's going to run over. So then they're going to come back this way, that wide zone with Spencer Sanders. And right now it's looking good for Oklahoma State. They think they have the numbers. And this is, again, another third down here, right, where it's another 3 and out. Which is, tide is starting to turn in this one.
Yeah, we like to see it. And talk to me a little bit more about Jamoy Hodge. He seems to really be the playmaker here. What is his job?
Yeah, so let's take a look on the end zone here. And so Hodge, even though all this stuff's going on in the backfield, they fake this jet motion, they fake it to the back. There's some stuff going on out here as well to his left. He just keys the line of scrimmage. He sees full flow this way by the line of scrimmage. And so blocking assignments wise for Oklahoma State, these two have these two have this stack right here, and then they're going to send this out an hour route. We talked about this with Jamie Plunkett on Facing the Frogs, that Oklahoma State would do this. They showed this versus Texas Tech. So, and then they're going to read this end here. Okay, so he should climb up to D Winters, and they have enough to block it. But because Jamoy does such a nice job just reading his keys, he takes this thing right now. This guy tries to turn back late, but really he's responsible for this one. So Oklahoma State's a mess right now on this key third down. And then Jamoy just takes it right now, takes it on square to the line of scrimmage, and ends up with a loss. And then and they have to punt it away at 4th and 6.
Yeah, TCU had this one sniffed out, it looks like.
They did. And this was critical right now. The defense really bowed up in this one. It started off a little bit slow in the first half, but they changed the game, and it started with plays like this.
It's all about momentum, and we saw it a ton in, like he said, plays like this. And when we come back, we're still in the 4th quarter.
Dave's Hot Chicken is a cult favorite and now has 2 locations in Fort Worth, Bryant Irvin Road on I-20 and Berry Street at TCU. Both owned and operated by Horned Frogs. Order the number 4 or number 5 for the tastiest lunch special under $10. Or order online at daveshotchicken.com.
Play action. Duggan. Blitz comes. They pick it up. Duggan. Slow release. Catch made here by Johnston at the 30. 25-20.
And right here in the 4th quarter, Frogs need a big play. And none other than Quentin Johnston, the man himself, is ready to step up. 25 yards. Dave, take it away. Was this a TCU success or was this an Oklahoma State mistake?
No, Maggie, I actually think this is TCU operating at a really high level here. So they start off with play action in the backfield to Kendre Miller. So they had run power previously, a power run play, which is this pulling guard, everyone else blocking down. So they give the same exact look up front, the same presentation to Kendre Miller, and the same with the pulling guard here, except now everyone has a gap to their left here. For pass protection. They keep in Jared Wiley here, and they pulled Steve Avila, who has this one here. So he's going to take anything on this C gap here, really. So they'll take this one. Kendre Miller comes off nicely to the blitzing nickel safety out there. So he takes care of that one. They're in man free. Now outside, let's take a look at the receivers. There's 3 receivers on this route. Gunnar Henderson does an awesome job going all the way across the field and running this rub route on the corner. So as the corner follows Quentin Johnston, who's coming back this way. So he catches the ball about 12 yards deep, but he catches it almost on the opposite numbers. He had to travel quite a ways. So Gunnar does a great job clearing this one out for the corner to pick the corner. And then here, Savion Williams, his target now is at the safety. So you've got these 2 clearing out. We've got Quentin Johnston coming underneath. And I'll tell you what, between the protection, these guys doing their job, this is a play here that shows you that all 11 guys are on the same exact page and doing their job and doing it really well. Pick up a big game and continue to keep this momentum rolling for the Horned Frogs.
All right, I got Dave back over here to talk to me about why there are 3 wide receivers en route. Should there have been more?
Yeah, well, you'd like to get 5 wide receivers out anytime you can, but this was all part of the protection. Oklahoma State was bringing pressure. They had been bringing pressure at this point in the game. So TCU wanted to sort of have safe protection, and really this ends up being a 7-man protection. And so as we watch this here, you can see they're going to need it, because here comes the nickel on the blitz for Oklahoma State. And so now the tight end stays in, the running back after the play action, as we talked about on the board, he stays in, which is really hard to pass pro after you have to go through a play action fake, right? Really tough deal there. So they leave them in. They had run power earlier in the game, which is pulling that guard. Everyone else is blocking down. And so they gave the same exact look and same presentation as they did in the run game, but now they're going to go ahead and pass the ball. So that sucks up all these linebackers, and that gets Quentin Johnson, on the deep over route. So I mean, there's a lot going on here, but certainly, Max did a great job.
Oh yeah, a little bit of a tricky play right here, and with an incredible end result. And talk to me a little bit about Mad Max. I mean, right here it looks like he's maybe hiding the ball, and then he's also got a guy in his face. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. So we can kind of step this thing. We'll see. This is the ball right here. So he shields the defense between the ball. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so he shields it from here, and then he sticks a hand out for play action. That draws these linebackers up. That's going to give lots of green grass to get rid of this thing. And then Kendre Miller does a great job after the fake, coming on off the play action to pick up this blitz here. He'll take that one late and knock him down. Really good job. Jarrett Wiley's here for extra protection. The polar guard, Steve Avila, he's got the edge here, so he's going to take this one. So it's not wasted, right? It's not just going in a play action. He's actually got a purpose there, because everyone's going to block down, have a gap to their left, and then Steve's going to get ahead here and take the edge. And then we got Kendre off here. There's all kinds of stuff going on, as you can see.
There's a lot of arrows, Coach.
Right, and it is. It's a lot. And then at the very end here, one comes off late. Max has a guy right in his face, but he doesn't cower whatsoever and delivers a strike to Quentin Johnson.
And going back a little bit right there, I mean, I can't say enough about Kendre Miller. Not only was he ready, but there was a man right there, and he knew exactly what he was supposed to be doing. He knew his purpose, and he takes that block that potentially, I mean, from the looks of it from here, looks like it saves Max to be able to throw that pass.
That's exactly right. So it goes to show football, especially offensive football, every single person needs to do their job. If 1 out of 11 doesn't do their assignment correctly, then you have a busted play. And so all 11 guys are working together here, obviously in the protection, in the play action, and then certainly the routes that we talked about over on the board. They're going to clear out here for Quentin. So these guys fall here, and then you get Quentin on the over route, and this safety has no chance of getting over there in time. And so just another huge play for the Frogs.
Frogs find some success offensively, but can't stay the same for Oklahoma State in this next play. Stay with us.
Texas-based Happy Water offers the best-tasting, sugar-free kids drink ever made. Happy Water comes in 4 delicious flavors that you can find at local retailers and on Amazon. Each pouch contains 0 grams of sugar, 0 calories, and 0% juice. Head to happydrinks.com for more information and to purchase Happy Water. That's HAPI drinks.com. Live happy, be happy, drink happy.
Inside. Bring a man in motion across the formation. That's John Paul Richardson to throw the football as Sanders. Frogs twist up front. Sanders out of 1 tackle. Can't get out of the second. Down he'll go.
And right here, the defense is rolling. Another 3 and out, this time 3rd and 10. Dave, how does TCU get this sack? Is this on purpose, or is this maybe an Oklahoma State mistake once again?
Yeah, Maggie, they always want to get a sack, but they didn't bring extra pressure on this one in order to do it, which was really nice. They stayed with the 3-man pressure up front, so there was a 3-man rush. There was a twist here, and then Jamoy Hodge stayed in as a spy, and that's ultimately how they got the sack at that point. But let's take a look at how it all started off. They showed their traditional 3-safety look, but they actually played 2-man. Okay, so they brought in a bunch of DBs on this one on 3rd and 10. And they played this is really a coverage heavy deal. So you want to say this is a coverage sack because of the spy, because of the rush. I'd say it's because of all of it, honestly. So Oklahoma State brought this guy in motion. So we got this one to follow out of here. And they had a pretty good play call. They on this side here, they want to run the influence route. This is actually Josh Newton, typically a corner. He was inside, matched up man-to-man. It was all man underneath. And then these 2 safeties went here. This safety spun down late and actually had the back man-to-man. So took the back man-to-man here. We had this here, going on this side, but really look to this side. They wanted to go an influence route, so they wanted to bring Josh Newton out and then bring the square in behind it and throw it. But all that going on, they stuck to their men and did a great job coverage underneath. They couldn't go deep at all because of the two high safeties. They took care of business here. Jamoy Hodge, as we're going to see on film in a second, did a great job on the spy. These guys did a great job on the twist. And I'm telling you what, this place was now rocking, and another 3rd and out for the Frogs.
We've all heard the question, what just happened? Happens a lot after an offensive mistake. And right here, I'm kind of wondering, Coach, what was their plan offensively right here?
Yeah, so it's actually a really good call versus that 2-man coverage that I referenced on the board. And so they have a really good call on here. You'll see in motion, so they're playing man underneath, as we talked about, and then we got a safety spinning down. These guys are going to be deep, so when you say 2-man, it's cover 2 up top. They each have a half of the field, and then everywhere underneath is going to be man coverage, okay? So down here at the bottom, Trey Hodges-Tomlinson is in man coverage and does a really nice job, and so he takes that away. You can have the right call, but then you just got to be a better football player, right? And that's what happens here. And so what they're trying to do is create an influence route on this linebacker, pull this linebacker out, okay, by this route here, by their, what they call their cowboy back. So he's supposed to take him out, and then all of a sudden you get the squaring coming in behind it to open up the void. But they don't account for, Tomlinson just being such a great cover corner.
No, absolutely not. And this is one of those 3rd and out instances we've brought up in that first play. Talk to me a little bit about D. Winters. I mean, that guy, I got a chance to talk to him post-game, and he was a great conversation to talk about just how insane this TCU defense was.
Yeah, D. Winters right here is in a spy situation. I want everybody to take a look right here at this linebacker. So D. Winters is responsible for Spencer Sanders. He's been, he had some runs early in the game, as we saw. Spencer took off on some things. They did a great job in coverage, but this was a big adjustment at halftime where they said, okay, we're doing a great job sticking to your coverage, and when Sanders goes into scramble mode, we now need you to make sure that we spy the quarterback. And so that's what D. Winters does here. And so they do such a great job. We just talked about that in coverage. They're in 2-man, which, you don't have a lot of rushers at that point, okay? But the D-line does a great job with 3 rushers. And then with D. Winters here spying Sanders, he comes up and they end up getting a loss. They get a sack, and they got to punt it away on another 3 and out. And it's just impressive stuff.
Detrimental.
It really is. And you can see him here just falling around, and the D-line does their job.
Absolutely.
D. Winters does his job, and now the Horned Frogs are rolling.
They're ready. D. Winters, a speedy guy, being a great playmaker on that one. And when we come back, we're done. We got to give that TCU defense a little well-deserved rest, and we're going back to that TCU offense.
The Flying T Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student athletes. Flying T Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying T Club, or online at flyingtclub.com. DiMarcado in the backfield. Does he take the direct snap here? He does with Duggan in the backfield. Gives it to Duggan. Duggan's going to air it out. He's got a man open. It's Wiley. Turns it upfield. Touchdown!
And our final play, going to one that I was hoping was going to be included on this show. I mean, I was confused just watching it right here. Right here after this play, this helps TCU go up tied 30. Oklahoma State loses the lead for the first time in the entire game. Dave, how did they play this one out?
Yeah, certainly a huge play here to tie the game up. And this is what, they had set this up. They're working all the way down the field. And so it started off here. You had Amari DiMarcado and Max Duggan, and they actually shifted. So it was a direct snap to DiMarcado here. So that's how they set it up. There was man underneath by Oklahoma State, as you can see here, kind of who they were attached to. And what happened was it got snapped to DiMarcado. He handed it to Max Duggan. Okay, so then DiMarcado took this one off the backside, so he handled that one. Now the front line here, everyone looked like they were just flattening this thing out. Okay, so they're working almost like outside zone, but they actually don't want to take the block over. They just want to keep things flat here, so they have no penetration. So they're just doing this, everyone working this way. and they actually faked the reverse. Why this is nice to begin with, because it was man coverage underneath, this took that guy out of the play. The nickel's already out of the play, and then Jerry Wiley does a nice job faking the block and then releasing late. They cleared this one out. I mean, it was just a special play. It was the right call at the right time to get them to overtime, which, as we know, got the victory for the Horned Frogs.
And for these last play, we take you to the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter of regulation, not just the entire game. And right here, it's very influential for TCU. And Coach, I can say this because they won, and with all respect, but right here, it looks like DeMarcado he gets laid out.
Yeah, he gets hit, and the thing is, they start off here, he gets a direct snap. They'll shift, Max and DeMarcado shift in the backfield, so they'll direct snap to Mari. And really, here's the thing, his responsibility on this is to take care of the backside defensive end. And as a running back, that's not a matchup. Really, there's no running back in the country that's an equal matchup, right? Just in terms of size and whatnot. But it just goes to show you that he does his job. He just gets in the way, and that's all it takes. And sometimes you just got to be willing to stick your nose in there.
Yeah.
And DeMarcado is. He takes a good shot, but he does a great job because really this is the only defender at this point that can make this play as we let this play out on the backside. And so you'll see, they're in man coverage here. They're in man free. So this guy's responsible here. So when he sees the reverse, he's going to follow him all the way across the field. So we've now cleared out that area. We've taken care of that one with the reverse fake. So once they hands it to Max, they fake the reverse from behind. We get a little trickery going here. The game on the line. This is a big deal.
Yeah. Perfect little sweet spot.
That's
open
right.
there.
Yeah, and so, there's a lot going on here as well in this play. But DeMarcado honestly does a great job. He does his job, and that's all that matters.
Absolutely. Looking a little bit like Kendre on that last play we talked about, just kind of getting in there, making himself known, and at least just stopping up that defense. And over here, you talked a little bit about a fake already. So we see Wiley. What is he doing? Yeah, so he gets lost in all this, and he's going to be the intended receiver. And so he's going to fake as if they're blocking. Let me go back here. You can see, he's going to look like he's blocking here. Everyone on the offensive line is just working to their right side, trying to flatten everything out. He looks like he's doing the same thing as if it's going to be a reverse. So when he stutters there, after we get the clear out here, we get this route clearing this corner out. Wiley just gets lost here and releases late. And so you'll see it set it up. All of a sudden he turns out. And then from here, it's just an absolutely incredible individual effort to get into the end zone. Absolutely.
The officials here took forever for this one to get the call right. You happen to be standing there. He actually kicked up the turf a few inches from the sideline. It was clear that it was a touchdown all day long. And this one here, it sounded like I couldn't even hear myself think. The crowd was so loud.
No. I remember. Yes. I was standing there on the sidelines, and I was like, oh my gosh, you gotta just hold your breath. Don't move from this position. This position has to be good luck. And when we come back, we're gonna be closing out the show.
Texas-based Happy Water offers the best-tasting, sugar-free kids drink ever made. Happy Water comes in 4 delicious flavors that you can find at local retailers and on Amazon. Each pouch contains 0 grams of sugar, 0 calories, and 0% juice. Head to happydrinks.com for more information and to purchase Happy Water. That's HAPIDrinks.com. Live happy, be happy, drink happy.
For exclusive interviews and content on TCU recruits, subscribe now at frogstoday.com. Any sport, anytime. It's your source for all things TCU. Only on frogstoday.com.
Some pretty awesome plays we just watched, and a lot more from that coming from your Frogs. Coach, you see the new rankings?
I did. They cracked the top 10. You're nationally ranked at number 8.
That's incredible.
It is, and there's an argument made to be even bit higher, right? I guess never be satisfied, but all they have to do is just keep winning and keep doing that, and they will keep creeping up.
Absolutely, and Coach, it might be a little too early to ask this question, but what do you think about the college football playoff?
I know, it is. And if you're a coach and a player, you definitely don't want to have that talk. But as a fan, we can definitely talk about that. If they take care of business, certainly in the Big 12, as competitive as it is, and they still have a long road ahead. But if they do take care of business in this conference, then they will definitely be
in the conversation.
Yeah, at the very least, in that conversation. But I think we win the Big 12 the way it is this year. I think you have a spot as one of those 4.
And we've got K-State this week that we've got to take care of business of. Coach, you've got a show facing the Frogs with Jamie Plunkett. Give us a little teaser of what you're kind of thinking about K-State.
Yeah, we're going to break that one down. It's a very similar team in terms of their approach, and so not just their uniform color, right, and wearing purple, but it's going to be a good one. So make sure you check that one out. There's also we've got the State of the Frogs with Sonny Dykes tomorrow night, 7 p.m. with Brian Estridge. That's always a great one. Sonny shares a lot of insight, right? And then we've got Frogs Today on Thursday and Friday night.
Absolutely.
So jam-packed, and then make sure you check out frogstoday.com for all your Horned Frog coverage.
And next week when we go play K-State here, back again in the Carter, we've got a pre- and post-game show. You're going to want to check that out on frogstoday.com. And as we close out this show, you want to make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Go ahead and smash that like button like TCU smashed Oklahoma State's hopes for the season. It's a little dramatic, but at least to stay undefeated for the season. Thanks for joining us, and we can't wait to see you next week.
Roxo Media House.